Toastmaster Hiren, you are a magician, and today you have proved me right again. When we talk about an inspirational speech, we need to convince the audience to bring about a change. And when we talk about change, we have a status quo and we need to punch the status quo to reach to the desired level. Today, Toastmaster Hiren has punched the status quo so hard that he has challenged the basic meaning of status quo. He has tricked us into believing that there was a status quo in his entire speech, but at the last, he entirely reversed the meaning of status quo, and like a true magician, he pulled out his trick, which was at last the subtle meaning, which was the actual status quo. Before going into that, let us dissect his speech a little. He first started with a personal anecdote. And what a better start than use a personal story to connect with the audience. At the very beginning, he connected with everyone. He talked about the story when he first moved to a Toastmaster meeting in Toronto. Every time we also have faced this situation when it was our first Toastmaster meeting. Thereby, he connected, he created the bridge which is required for any speech to go forward. Next, to have an inspirational speech, you need to have vivid images. You need to create vivid imaginary. And what more beautiful than the Bahubali bow and arrow, the cricket runner, shoes on, clothes on, and then you put on your weight. The Sayaji Bagh, all Barodians know about Sayaji Bagh. All Barodians know about Ketla Appa. And when we talk about Ketla Appa, why not Kathia and Jalebi? Through this, he took us to his story, he took us to his inspirational speech. Another better way of getting people involved is giving metaphor. When he used that, like the Bahubali bow, you have to go back. Like the cricket runner, you have to go back. He took us back. And then he told us that he also was not able to lose weight. He used the powerful law of attraction to create that metaphor where he compared lovers and foodies are same. When they are not allowed to have food together, they cannot stay happy. Humor is inherent in his speech, and that was evident today too. When he talked about that very health session we had where Dr. Jayesh was talking about taking the measurement of 34 inches, and he did not know where to take, thereby creating those ripples of humor. When he come to transitions, the moment he said that bow and arrows have strings, but I don't have strings attached. Such a subtle transition from telling about a metaphor, then going to the point that he could not attain his status quo. And I am not a person who gives up. Talking about 70 to 75, 75 to 80, and 80 to 85. And such a beautiful transition that I was not able to go ahead with this. He tricked us in believing that losing weight is our status quo. But at the very end, he showed that we as a human being every time think that we need to challenge the status quo. We are not happy with what we have. And thus, being happy with status quo is the inspiration. It's actually the status quo he wanted to bring. Like a beautiful magician, he unraveled the trick. A thorough, wonderful speech with metaphor, transition, humor and all. When you change the status quo from that you wanted to show the trick, when you changed the status quo, you could have used voice modulation. You could have used body language. You could have used stage usage while running in Sayaji Park. Over and above a wonderful speech, a true inspiration that we need to be happy with what we have. And can I have a big round of applause for Toastmaster Hiren, the magician, who today inspired us to believe we need to be happy with our status quo. Thank you.